And welcome to our matinee, Saturday matinee of our fall musical, Hello, Dolly. And we are really glad that all of you came out this afternoon to watch our play. And if you were here last night, you know that our plays are never the same twice. So, and tonight and tomorrow will be really different because we've double cast some roles, and so we'll have different people tonight and tomorrow afternoon than we had yesterday and today. That's because there was so much talent, and it was just really fun to be able to spread that out and give more people a chance to act. We really would like to thank a few people today, in particular a former student of mine and actor on this very stage, Nicole Schmidt, who is completing her student teaching to be an English teacher, has been helping with our makeup and our costumes and hairdos, and so we are really grateful to have her assistance today. And Pat Sorley, our accompanist, and Angie Durkis is running our lights for us, and just all kinds of people had a part in this. Mr. Kashesky, our new industrial arts teacher, has been really helpful with the lights and the set pieces. So a lot of help and assistance went into making our play a success. So thank you so much for coming today. We have a 10-minute intermission this afternoon between Act 1 and Act 2. So Angela in the house lights up so you can do the 7-minute stretch and have a drink of water and come back for Act 2. So thank you again for coming today.
Unfortunately, I won't be able to offer my usual lightning fast service as I have a previous engagement in Yonkers, New York, arranging the second marriage of the well-known half-a-millionaire Horace Van Gelder. That means he's got at least $60,000 cash. But I'll do my best to have you carried over some threshold before the week's out. I might also mention that I'm available for financial consultation, instructions in the guitar and mandolin, short distance hauling, and varicose veins reduced.
I'm Dolly. She's the one that Spencer's recommend. Just name your kind of beg your sister. Once and she'll snatch him up. Don't forget to bring your baby nose and she'll match him up. I'm Dolly.
This is Levi.
Mr. Kemper, the artist. You know, I'm something of an artist myself. I do a silhouette of black paper and scissors.
This is Levi. The train for Yonkers leaves in 5 minutes, and if we don't get there on time,
But we will, Mr. Kemper. And not only will Horace Van Gelder give you permission to marry his niece Ermengarde, but he'll also dance at your wedding. And not alone either, because I happen to be engaged in finding him a suitable second wife himself. What he really wants is someone stable to clean the household. Like my late husband Ephraim Levi always said, marriage is a bride to make a housekeeper think she's a householder.
I know all about it, Mrs. Levi. Half of New York says he's going to propose to Mrs. Irene Lloyd this very afternoon.
Which is exactly why I'm on my way to Yonkers this afternoon. I can take on your case and knock out 4 lovebirds with 1 stone, or whatever I'll throw at him, we'll see. And would you look at that, I got nothing to pay my train fare with, only big bills, 5s and 7s, and 8s.
I have some change in here somewhere. I only hope this isn't a wild goose chase, Mrs. Levi.
Speaking of poultry, I'm also available for fresh Jersey eggs, surgical corsets reboned, ears pierced, and ears pierced 3 times.
Mrs. Levi.
Just name your kind of beg your sister. Once and she'll snatch him up. Don't forget to bring your
about to leave. Now, you go get our tickets, get a window seat, order some lunch, and I'll meet you on board. Ephraim, I'm going to get married again. I'm going to marry Horace Vandergelder for his money instead of circulating to the people like rainwater, like you taught me. And I want a sign, sometime today, that you approve. Oh, it won't be a marriage in the sense that we had, but I'll certainly make him happy. And I'm tired, Ephraim, tired of living hand to mouth, so I want that sign.
Mrs. Levi.
Sometime today. Now don't you worry, Mr. Camper. We'll get to Yonkers. You'll marry Ermengarde. Just leave everything up to me.
How am I supposed to play Yonkers My Yonkers with all this bellowing in my ears?
I can't help it, Uncle. I love Ambrose Kemper.
And I say you're too young to be in love with anybody. Here, take this.
I'm not too young. I'm 17, and in another year I'll be an old maid.
Well, I forbid it. You dare to be an old maid, Ermengarde, and I'll cut you off without a cent. And don't cry in the store.
I can't help it, Uncle. I'm unhappy.
Then by thunder, you'll go weep for a while in New York, where it won't be noticed. Now go upstairs and start packing your trunk. And don't get any tears on the lock. It was just oil. Cornelius, Barnaby!
You stand, Mr. Vandergelder?
I did. I've got news for both of you. I'm going to New York this very afternoon to march in the 14th Street Parade. And when I get back, you're going to have a mistress.
Oh, I'm too young, Mr. Vanderbilt.
Not yours, incarnation, mine. I mean, I'm getting married again. And in honor of the occasion, I decided to promote you, Cornelius, to chief clerk.
And what am I now, Mr. Vandergelder?
You are an impertinent fool, and I'm promoting you from impertinent fool to chief clerk. Any more questions?
Yes.
What?
Does the chief clerk get one evening off a week?
So that's how you thank me for your promotion, is it? Certainly not. You'll attend to things as normal. Now get back to work, and don't forget to put the lid on the sheep dip. Evenings off, marrying artists, foolishness. 99% of the people in this world are fools, and the rest are in great danger of contamination. Why, even I was once young, which was foolish, and got married, which was foolish, and was poor, which is more foolish than anything else. Then my wife died, which was foolish of her, and I grew older, which was sensible of me, and became rich, friendless, and mean, which in Yonkers is about as far as you can go. Now you're probably wondering why a person of such good sense as myself would do the foolish thing of get married again. The answer is simple. This house, without a woman, is an empty shell, and pretty dirty, too. It takes a woman all powdered in pink to joyously clean out the drain in the sink. And it takes an angel with long golden lashes and soft dress and fingers for dumping the ashes. Yes, it takes a woman, a dainty woman, a sweetheart, a mistress, a wife. Oh yes, it takes a woman, a fragile woman, to bring you the sweet things in life. The frail young maiden who's constantly there for washing likes. She's a joy and treasure, for practically speaking, to whom can you turn when the plumbing is leaking? A dainty woman, that fragile woman, that sweetheart, that mistress, that wife. Oh yes, it takes a woman, a husky woman, to bring you the sweet things in life. Oh yes, it takes a woman, a dainty woman, a sweetheart, a mistress, a wife. Oh yes, it takes a woman, a fragile woman, to bring you the sweet things in life. All right, out of here, all of you.
Congratulations, 1,000 congratulations.
What?
Congratulations, Mr. Van Gelder. All of New York is buzzing with the news that you're practically engaged with Irene Malloy. All my congratulations and sympathy.
Sympathy.
Did I say that? No, I'm actually quite happy with the news. After all, it wasn't easy to unload her. And by that I mean, you know what people said. But I, for one, never believed the rumors. No, I didn't.
Rumors? What rumors?
Oh, nothing to get upset about, Mr. Van Gelder. I mean, according to all well-known fact, her first husband did go quite naturally. It's just it happened so sudden. A few spoonfuls of chowder that she made special for him, and poof. But it could happen to anyone. No, there's no truth in it. Just one piece of advice, Mr. Van Gelder. Eat up.
Now, hold on. Do you mean to say that Mrs. Malloy...
I mean to say nothing, Mr. Van Gelder. Just a friendly tip of advice. Stay away from the chowder. By the way, she's ordered her wedding gown. You should see it. Beautiful. Black. But as I was saying, Mr. Van Gelder, congratulations on your forthcoming nuptials, and may you rest in, may angels watch over you both, particularly at dinner.
Now, hold on, Mrs. Levi. You introduced me to Mrs. Malloy, and rumors or not, I intend calling on her this afternoon.
Well, then I guess there's nothing more for me to do but to go back to New York and tell the other girl, the heiress, not to wait.
What did you say?
Nothing, a word. Heiress.
Particulars, Mrs. Levi, particulars. Her name.
Money. Ernestina Money.
What a lovely, lovely name.
Picture, if you will. Hair as shiny as newly minted dimes. Eyes as big round as silver dollars. Skin as soft and mossy as an old greenback.
I can feel her now.
Age 19. Weight 102. Waist 47.
Waist 47.
That's with the money belt. Now, I could arrange for you to meet Miss Ernestina this afternoon.
I ain't got time, Mrs. Levi. I have to take my niece Ermengarde to New York to get a certain artist, Ambrose Kemper.
Well, I could do that for you, Mr. Van Gelder. I know exactly how to handle such things.
Then I will go march to the 14th Street Parade.
What a coincidence. Guess who's been chosen to ride on the main float, the spirit of 14th Street? Miss Money. Her mother was a cash, you know.
All right, Mrs. Levi, I'll meet Miss Money, but I still intend calling on Mrs. Malloy as planned.
All the races you make me run, very well. I will meet you in front of Miss Irene Malloy's hat shop at 2:30 on the bench, as usual.
One more thing, Mrs. Levi. Suppose I've decided against Mrs. Malloy, and I don't like Miss Money either.
Well, then I have one more name on my list. One that I know as well as my own. But let's not talk about that right now. It'll come up all by itself, all in good time. But wait till you see Ernestina. Oh, a vision, a dream. You know, Ephraim, I think I'm going to have that room over there done up in blue wallpaper. Yeah, in blue. Ermengarde, Ambrose, I'm coming up there. We have plans to make.
Chief clerk, promoted from chief clerk to chief clerk. And if I'm good, in 10 years, I'll be promoted to chief clerk again. I'm 33 years old, and I still don't get an evening free. When am I going to begin to live?
You can live on holidays, Cornelius.
Did you forget what we did last Christmas? All those rotten tomato cans exploded, and you and I cleaned up the whole mess all afternoon. You call that living?
No.
Barnaby, you and I are closing up the store.
What are you saying?
We're going to New York. more rotten tomato cans are going to explode.
Holy cabooses, how do you know?
Because I'm going to light this candle on them. That's how I know. That'll get us meeting up. We'll have a good meal. We'll spend our money. We'll be in danger. We're gonna be arrested.
Holy cabooses.
And one more thing. We're not coming back to Yonkers until we've each kissed a girl.
Cornelius, you can't do that. You don't know any girls.
I'm 33 years old. I've got to begin sometime.
I'm only 17, Cornelius. It isn't so urgent for me.
New York, Barnaby. Elevated trains. The lights of Broadway. The stuffed whale at Barnum's Museum.
A stuffed whale?
Stuffed whale. What do you say, Barnaby?
Yes, Cornelius, yes.
Now, the first thing we must do is make you financially independent. I know, I'll get you a job. Do you dance?
I'm an artist, Mrs. Levi. I paint.
Well, and my card.
Mrs. Dolly Levi, painter's taught to dance.
Now, there is a man, Rudolph Reisenweber, at the Harmonia Gardens on 14th Street. I'll give you a note, and we'll see if he can have you both entered in the poet contest tonight. The prize is a weeks-long engagement and a solid gold cup. Oh, the cup you won Ephraim and me.
Now hold on, Mrs. Levi. No fiance of mine is going to set foot in a cafe. And I don't mind saying that I'm surprised that you have acquaintances in a place like that.
Not acquaintances, Mr. Kemper. Friends. Dear friends from days gone by. See, my late husband believed in finding life wherever he could find it. Cafes, ballrooms, and yes, even theaters. Why, even when times were bad, every Saturday night, like clockwork, down those stairs to the Harmonia Gardens restaurant we came, Ephraim and me.
It's all well to come down like clockwork, Mrs. Levi, but you're asking Ermengarde to work there.
It's the only way to show Horace Vanderbilt that we mean business. Now, you'll go to the Harmonia Gardens restaurant this afternoon and tell them Dolly sent you. And incidentally, tell Rudolph that Dolly's coming back. And she needs a table for two and a chicken for 8 o'clock tonight.
The bottom row looks all right, Cornelius. Now hold the candle under the ones on top. Not that close, they're swelled up like they're ready to burst. Oh. I can smell it from up here, Cornelius.
Get dressed, Barnaby. We're going to New York. Out there, there's a world outside of Yonkers. Way out there beyond this hick town, Barnaby. There's a slick town, Barnaby. Out there, full of shine and full of sparkle. Close your eyes and see it glisten, Barnaby. Listen, Barnaby. Of your Sunday clothes, there's lots of world out there. You know the brilliant teeth and dark cigars. That picture in the evening air. Girls in white in a perfume night where the lights are bright as the stars. On your Sunday clothes, we're gonna ride through town. In one of those big doors, John open cars.
We'll see the shows at Delmonico's and we'll close the town in a row. And we won't come home until we've kissed a girl.
On your Sunday clothes, if you feel down and out, down the streets and have your picture took. Just like a dream, your spirits seem to turn about. That Sunday shine and that certain time that you feel as fine as you are. Beneath the parasol, the world
on to a smoky spot where the girls are hot as a fuse. Oh! I still had it at the turned-up cup, where a handmade bracelet button glow. We'll join the Astors and Tony Pastors and miss the house we alone. That we won't come home. That we won't come home. That we won't come home until we fall in love.
Oh me, oh my. 10 o'clock and the shop's not open yet. It's all because of the impending marriage, I tell you. Oh, what marriage? Oh, I thought you knew. Why, the marriage that Mrs. Levi is arranging between Mr. Horst Vandegeller, the well-known Yonkers half-millionaire, and my friend and employer, Mrs. Irene Malloy. Although, if you ask me, he'll never take the place of her late husband, Mr. Peter Malloy. May he rest in peace. Where he is, I'm not sure. He was a caution, you know. Oh, it's all too much with late husbands and new marriages, and on top of everything else, Miss Mortimer returning this hat again for the 3rd time. Same old story. She wants cherries and feathers, to catch a beau, I suppose. Although, if you ask me, she'd do better with a nice heavy veil. I told her ribbons down her back is what we'll be wearing this summer to catch a gentleman's eye. But she'd have none of it. Cherries and feathers. And on today of all days, when poor sweet Mrs. Malloy has enough of her mind, what, Minnie? Oh, with the door. It's stuck. Oh. And as I was saying, Mrs. Malloy, I could bite out my tongue for the things I've said and the things I'm about to say, but as long as I've gone this far, I might as well go all the way. Mrs. Malloy, why,
Just say it, Minnie. Why have I decided to marry Horst Vandergeller?
oh, Mrs. Malloy, I did not ask you that. I would rather die in the rack than ask you such a personal question. But as long as you did bring it up,
I am marrying Horst Vandergeller for one reason and one reason alone, Minnie. To get away from the millinery business. I hate hats.
oh, Mrs. Malloy,
And I can no longer stand for being suspected of being a wicked woman with nothing to show for it.
Mrs. Malloy,
Don't protest, Minnie. All millnesses are suspected of being wicked women. That's why they go to restaurants or balls or theaters. That's all the proof they need. Take my word for it, Minnie. Either I marry Horst Vandergeller or I break out of this place like a fire engine.
Mrs. Malloy.
Oh, not Miss Mortimer again.
Miss Mortimer, I'll take care of it.
No, Minnie, leave it be. You can make another hat for Miss Mortimer if you like. I'm wearing this hat myself.
Oh, well, Mrs. Malloy, you can't. Well, you're a widow, and that hat, well, it's provocative, that's what.
Is it, Minnie? Well, who knows who may walk into the shop today, and provocative may be just what I want to be.
Oh, Mrs. Malloy.
Wearing ribbons down my hair. This
love Horace Vandergelder? No, Minnie, I don't. Peter Malloy, God rest him, was my share of love. And I'm not saying I was shortchanged. Once is enough for a woman as long as it's true love, and it was that. Minnie, there are men staring at the shop.
Men?
Why, I do believe they mean to come in here.
Oh, Mrs. Malloy, men in the shop. What shall we do?
Do? Why, we flirt with them, of course. I'll give you the short one.
Oh, Mrs. Malloy. And you with all that talk about love.
Oh, love enough I've had, Minnie. It's a bit of an adventure I can do with now. We'll get them all heated up and then drop them cold. Now, you go into the workroom. I know some ways we can perk up our appearances. Besides, a bit of bully will make them nervous and easier for us to.
Oh, if you say flirt with, I'll scream flirt with.
Oh, we don't look at an adventure out of this yet.
We'll get an adventure out of this yet, Barnaby. All day long we walk around New York, and nothing happens. And then we come to the quietest street in town, and suddenly...
Vandergelder.
Is he out there? Go look.
He's sitting on that bench, Cornelius. Are you sure this is an adventure?
You don't have to ask. You'll know when you're in one, all right. How much money have we got left?
Boy, not much, Cornelius. 40 cents for the train back, 30 cents for dinner, and 20 cents to see the whale. 90 cents. Why?
Because when those ladies come out, we'll have to pretend to be customers. Customers, that's it. Maybe the best thing to do is make them think we're rich. Then we won't have to buy anything at all. We're two gentlemen about town looking for hats for ladies. Good afternoon, Mrs.
Malloy.
Oh,
Here, Cornelius Hackle.
here, Barnaby Tucker.
My pleasure, gentlemen. Now, what can I do for you?
We're two ladies about town looking for hats. Malloy, we wondered.
We're cats, you see, and we wanted to buy a lady or two to Malloy with.
Okay, we're two gentlemen about town looking for hats for ladies, and everyone said go to Mrs. Malloy because she's so pretty. I mean, her hats are so pretty.
And so reasonable, Cornelius. Huh? As reasonable as under $1 would still leave us enough to see the whale.
Pay him no mind, man. He's come all the way from Yonkers to see the whale. Barnaby, you keep your eye on the window, maybe you'll see it pass by.
Is it big and black with mean little red eyes?
Yes.
It's sitting off on that bench.
Did you say Yonkers, Mr. Hackle?
Yes, ma'am. And by that, I mean you should see Yonkers. And maybe Mr. Malloy would like to see Yonkers as well.
Oh, I'm a widow, Mr. Hackle.
You are? Barnaby, she's a widow! Oh, that's too bad. I'm sure Mr. Malloy would love to see Yonkers in that hat. On you, of course, not Mr. Malloy. May he rest in peace. You're Catholic, aren't you? Well, don't let that worry you. I'd be willing to change. Mrs. Malloy, if you should ever have a Sunday off in the near future, I'd be more than pleased to show you Yonkers from top to bottom.
Well, as a matter of fact, Mr. Hackle, I might be there sooner than you think.
Oh, really?
You see, I have a friend who lives in Yonkers.
Do you?
Perhaps you know him.
Perhaps we do.
But it's always foolish to ask in cases like that. It's a Mr. Vandergelder.
Yeah!
Horace Vandergelder?
A Vandergelder's hay and feed?
Do you know it?
No.
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 Mr. Vandergelder is a substantial man and well-liked, they tell me.
Lovely man. Just lovely. Has only one fault as far as I know. He's hard as nails.
Cornelius, I think...
Now, perhaps your friend might like this hat.
Look out!
Begging your pardon, Mrs. Malloy.
Gentlemen, what are you doing?
Help us. We'll explain later.
Come out of there this minute.
Just shut the lid.
I can't leave out of here or I'll be forced to call Officer Gogarty and Mr. Vandergelder.
Mrs. Malloy, I don't suppose Mrs. Levi is here, is she? She was supposed to meet me on that bench 10 minutes ago. Well, she can just go looking for me when she comes. When I make an appointment, I like people to be on time. Here's a gift for you. Chocolate-covered peanuts, unshelled. That's the expensive kind. That's just you talking with two men?
Men? Men, Mr. Vandergelder? What would men be doing in a lady's hat shop? Now, let's go back to my workroom. I'm so anxious for you to see it.
I saw it last week.
So you did? Swell, Mr. Vandergelder. What's new in the hay and feed business? I hear you have 3 friends, all hard as nails.
What do you need?
Yonkers. I hear it's a beautiful city.
And who's been telling you about Yonkers, may I ask?
Nobody. A friend.
What friend?
Well, you see, he,
He?
Mr. Vandergelder, someone, I called you as a matter of fact. He was in here buying hats for ladies. You might even know him. It's always silly to ask in cases like that. It's Mr. Cornelius Hackle.
Did you say Hackle?
Why, yes.
He just happens to be my chief clerk, that's all. Mrs. Malloy, I demand an explanation.
And I'm going to give it to you, Mr. Vandergelder. Why shouldn't she know Cornelius Hackle? Why, he's here in the opera. He's in all the fashionable homes. Why, he's at the Harmonia Gardens restaurant 3 nights a week.
Impossible. He only has $146.35, and it's in my own safe.
Mr. Vandergelder, you're killing me. He's one of the Hackles. They built the canal.
What canal?
The Panama.
Both.
It ain't the same man.
Who took the horses out of Jenny Lynn's carriage and pulled her through the streets? Cornelius Hackle. And who dressed up as a waiter at the 5th Street Hotel and dropped an oyster, well, down Mrs. Astor's, well, I can't even say it, but it was Cornelius Hackle. He's the playboy of New York. Now, Irene, I can see that you were taken with him just like everybody else.
Dolly, what are you saying? I've only seen that man once in my life. Really, Dolly?
Hey, excuse me.
There's a man in there!
Now, see here, there's a man in that trunk.
Mr. Vandergelder, you can't. It's too dangerous.
Nonsense. Any man who hides in women's trunks can't break me. Stand aside.
No man, indeed. I mean, I'm sure you'd make short work with those muscles. Why, I can see him now, rippling back and forth underneath your coat. Ripple, ripple, ripple. Back and forth. Ripple, ripple, ripple.
For the last time, Mrs. Levi, stand aside.
Stand, indeed. And that's exactly what the law courts want to know when they ask you if you entered that trunk without a search warrant. Why, if you don't stand for the laws of this great country, what do you stand for? I know what I stand for, and so you see, Mr. Vandergelder, there could not possibly be a man in that trunk. Listen.
Mrs. Malloy.
All right, Mr. Vandergelder, there is a man in that trunk.
Aha.
And another under that table.
What the devil?
And there also happens to be a very simple explanation for all of this. But for the present, good afternoon.
Good Lord, Minnie, the whole room's crawling with them. I take it I'll see you this afternoon, Mr. Vandergelder.
You certainly will. And with the young lady on the main floor to the end of the 14th Street Parade. Good day, Mrs. Malloy.
Mrs. Malloy, we can explain.
I do not wish to hear an explanation, Mr. Hackle. Just you and Mr. Tucker do me the pleasure of leaving my shop, or I'll be forced to send for Officer Gogarty.
Why, if you ask me, Irene, calling the officers and letting them off is too easy. I've been adding up the legal offenses these two have committed, and you have grounds for at least 2 writs, a non-compos mentis and garnishee. Now, the right thing to do is to show that you tried to solve it amicably outside of court. Have dinner with them.
Dinner?
Dolly, is that absolutely necessary?
That's how it's done in the law, Irene. Dinner first, garnishee afterward.
Well, if it must be, Mr. Hackle, Mr. Tucker, you may escort Minnie Fay and myself to dinner.
Delighted, and I speak for Barnaby as well. Now I hear there's a lovely restaurant in the railroad station.
Oh, no, Mr. Hackle. If the Harmonia Gardens is good enough for your fashionable friends, it's good enough for us. I hear they have a lovely orchestra there, Minnie.
We couldn't go there, Mrs. Malloy. It's not the money or anything, it's the...
It's the whale. It's the whale.
No, it's not the whale, Barnaby. It's the dancing. They have contests, exhibitions in places like that, and I don't know how to dance. And it would take me weeks, months, years to learn. Mrs. Dolly Levi, 33-year-old chief clerk, taught how to dance.
Now, it's very simple. Just put one hand here and one hand here.
It's absolutely no use. I have no sense of rhythm.
Absolutely no sense of rhythm is the primary requirement for the Dolly Gallagher method. Now just give me 5 minutes of your time, Mr. Hackle, and I'll have you dancing through the streets. Right foot touch, left foot touch, over, back, around, touch, over, through, under, and unfurl. Wonderful. When I think of the woman who will find heaven in your arms, let's go back to lesson 1. Now put your hand on her waist and stand with her right and your left hand. And 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Look, I'm dancing. Well, I was.
Of course, Mr. Heckle. Take that someone whose arms you're in. Hold on to her tight and spin. And 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Wow, I'm dancing.
Turn around and turn around, try floating through the air. Can't you be a little more aesthetic?
Don't you think my dancing has a polish and a flair?
The word I think I use is athletic. For my heart is about to burst. My head is about to pop. And now that we're dancing, who cares if we
Never stop. Look at me, everybody. I, Cornelius Hackle, sport and dancing.
You're next, Mr. Tucker. Then step and fly.
And everyone, stand aside.
You can learn to come if you want to reach or so, or to take a filled with passion seething.
I might join the chorus of the Castle Garden show.
Well, for gosh sakes, whatever you do, keep breathing. For my heart is about to burst. My head is about to pop. And now that we're dancing, who cares if we never stop? When there's someone you hardly know and wish you were closer to, remember that he can be near to you while you're dancing. Though you only just said hello, he's suddenly someone who can make all your daydreams appear to you while you're dancing. Make the music breathe a spell, whirl away your worry. Things look almost twice as well when they're slightly blurry. As around and around you go, your spirits will hit the top. And now that we're dancing, who cares if we never stop? And now that we're dancing, who cares if we never Well, look who's here. Mrs. Levi. How are you, Mrs. Levi? How are you, Miss Rose?
Fine. Aches in my side, pains in my back, stabs in the liver. The same. My daughter Fanny got married, you know.
Did she?
A year ago last September. It's been a long time since you lived here, Mrs. Levi. Such a long time.
Ephraim, let me go. It's been long enough. For the last few years, I put out the cat, I blocked the door. I put myself a little longer on grown toddy, and I've said a prayer, thanking God that I was independent, and nobody else's life was messed up with mine. Then one night, an oak leaf fell out of my Bible. I put it there when you asked me to marry you. A perfectly good oak leaf, but without color and without life. And I suddenly realized that I was like that oak leaf. For years I had not shed a tear, nor had I been filled with the wonderful hope that something would turn out well. And Ephraim, I decided to rejoin the human race. And I want you to give me away. Before the parade passes by, I'm going to get in step while there's still time left. Before the parade passes
Mrs.
by.
Lehman, Cornelius is taking us down to the 14th Street Parade. Everyone will be marching. Come with us, Dolly.
Why, Reed, you're crying.
Oh, Dolly, the world is full of wonderful things. Come with us, Dolly.
I will, Irene. I will. Before the parade passes by, I'm going to go and taste Saturday's highlight. Before the parade passes by, I'm going to get some life back into my life. I'm ready to move out in front. I've had enough of just passing my life. The rest of them, I can hold my head up high. I'm going to go again, I'm going to drive again, I'm going to feel my heart feel alive again. Before the parade passes by. Look at the crowd up ahead. Listen and hear that breast harmony growing. Look at that crowd up ahead. How did we get by? Old spirits are showing. All of those lights over there seem to be telling me where I'm going. When the whistles blow and the cymbals crash and the light blurs like the sky, I'm going to raise my arms, I'm going to carry on. Give me an old trombone, give me an old baton. Before the parade passes by.
She's beautiful, everything you said and more. Don't move, Miss Money, I'm coming. I'm on my way. Hey, you, cut that out. That's my fiance. Stop, thief, pickpocket. Put that back, you. I paid for that girl and I want all the parts. Miss Money, what have they done to you? Mrs. Levi, what is the meaning of this?
Nothing to get upset about, Mr. Van Gilder. A last-minute substitution. There was a sudden urgent business problem at Mint, and Miss Money went to go help out. But don't worry, she'll meet you in front of the Harmonia Gardens restaurant at 8 o'clock tonight.
That's the most expensive restaurant in the city.
And why shouldn't it be? The food and the fastest waiters in all of New York. By the way, I'm going to be a little late, but Miss Money will meet you in front of the restaurant. Wait till you see her, Horace, sing an old-fashioned tune. Yep, sweet Rosie O'Grady. Couldn't miss her if you tried.
I'll be there, Dolly, but only because I paid for the introduction. And I might as well get my money's worth. But from now on, Dolly Gallagher, you are hereby discharged as my marriage broker. From now on, you're just a woman, just like anyone else. What's going on? Where are you taking me?
Ephraim, he's as good as mine.
Mr. Haskell, it's been wonderful looking at the lights of 14th Street these past 4 hours, but perhaps we better call a hack or we won't make it to Harmonia Gardens on time. Oh, there's one. Yoo-hoo!
Oh no, Mrs. Malloy, we couldn't do that. It's not the money or anything, it's just that nowadays, elegant people never take hacks.
Axe is out.
They all go by streetcar.
J.P. Vanderbilt, Diamond Jim Morgan.
Well, then by all means, a streetcar.
Just think, I've been elegant all my life and never even knew it.
But if you want to be walk.
Yes, New York, it's really us, Barnaby and Cornelius.
All the guests of Mr. Hackle are feeling great and look spectacular.
What a knack there is to that, acting like a born aristocrat. We've got elegance. If you ain't got elegance, you can never ever carry it off. Middle class, Minnie Bay has pedigree.
Exercise your wildest dreams tonight. We are out with diamond gems tonight. Could they be misleading us?
Silver spoons were used for feeding us. We've got elegance. If you ain't got elegance, you can never ever carry it off. Middle class, don't speak of it, savoir-faire. We reek of it. Some were born with rags and patches, but we use dollar bills for matches.
And Vanderbilt, come close to us.
J.P. Morgan scrapes and bows to us. We've got elegance. We were born with elegance. Have you noticed when I hold my cup, the saucer never moves?
That's the way I keep my drinking over
We've got elegance. We've got built in elegance, and with elegance, we'll carry it on.
Oh, look, Minnie, they're counting the money again. Isn't that just like the rich? Aren't you going to escort us in?
Of course we are, Barnaby. Mrs. Malloy,
Yes, Mr. Hackle?
I was wondering,
Yes, Mr. Hackle?
as we start inside, may I put my arm around your waist?
Yes, Mr. Hackle. But I might as well warn you, a corset is a corset.
I don't want to be on stage. I just want to get married.
You heard Mrs. Levi. We have to show you that we mean business. Can you cry a little faster? You're throwing me off step. That's it.
Sweet Rosie, oh, right, my sweet little Rosie.
Ernestina.
Yeah!
Okay. If I wait till I get my hand ready.
When it is my order, as Ed Winter, the morning Gunnings restaurant, that tonight, all night, our usual lightning service will be twice as lightning as ever. What else? I hope you're finding this table satisfactory, sir. The private dining rooms cost a bit more, but they do afford the best view of the entertainment.
$1.40, Cornelius, that's all that's left.
Are you sure? Count it again.
Prepare yourself for a big night, Minnie. We're out with two of New York's best-known sports.
I did make a mistake, Cornelius. $1.35. I'll count it once.
No, don't. We can't afford it.
I'm going to order everything on the menu. Waiter.
I have told you before, sir. You'll have to move. This table is reserved for Mrs. Levi party.
And who do you think I am? Only it's Boris Van de Gelder and party. She's in my and party. I ain't in hers.
Well, Mr. Van de Gelder, of course. It's just Mrs. Levi didn't mention you bringing your...
My personal physician. That's enough proof.
Well, Mrs. Levi only ordered chicken for two.
Chicken? Chickens are dear.
Un pâté maison, soupe de jour, un pomme soufflé.
Why didn't you tell me this was an Oriental establishment? We'll take 2 bowls of rice. Now get out of here. Now, Miss Money, I understand you carry large sums in your belt.
Yeah, $2. Only it's in my garter.
It's sweet of you to worry about our reputations, Cornelius, but Minnie and I don't care who sees us tonight. Well, Minnie, what have you decided?
I can order anything with these prices.
Great grindstones. What a sensible girl. Waiter, bring us 4 glasses of beer, a loaf of yesterday's bread, and some cheese.
Yesterday's bread. Oh, Cornelius, now I know how you keep half of New York in stitches all the time. Minnie, have you ever had pheasant?
Pheasant?
Say, why the closed curtains? You ashamed or something?
It's not that. I just felt a slight chill.
Why didn't you say so? Here, I'll loan you this. There. Now, let's order something to hold us till the rice comes. Waiter! Would you bring a roast suckling pig with chestnut and oyster stuffing, cheese fondue, and some ladyfingers? Now, what'll you have? Hey, you with the big ears! What are you doing after the show?
It's sweet of you to worry about our digestion, Cornelius, but I'm sure the pheasants are fresh. We'll take 4, please, and a nice red wine.
Wait a minute. No wine.
No wine?
Champagne.
Champagne!
It's once in a lifetime, Barnaby. Champagne and Neapolitan ice cream and hot house peaches. And Barnaby, you give the band leader a nickel and tell him to play 2 A Wild Rose. We want music while we dine.
Say, this is a cafe, ain't it? Let's dance!
The Vandergelders do not dance, Miss Money. We're Presbyterian.
All right, I'll dance myself then. Give me $2 for the band leader, would you? Tell him to play something refined. I'm going to do the hoochie coochie.
All right, Cornelius, I'll send for the band, but promise you won't order anything else.
You wait here, Miss Money, and I'll tell the band leader to play a waltz. Here you, give this to the band leader, and tell him to play a waltz.
Hey, here's a nickel for the band leader. Tell him to play Tell him to play.
Miss Money!
2 more pheasants, please.
Oh, Cornelius, why? Why would you do something like that?
I
5 pennies and Cornelius. Cornelius. Did you say 2 pheasants? 3, 4 pheasants for the whole house, and never mind if we don't see a whale, I'll buy one of my own.
Sir! What is this shouting boy? How many times have I told you? It's the ammonia gun in the not one of those.
Sir, she's here, the lady.
What? Are you sure, boy?
It's like you told me, sir. 8 o'clock on the nose. Up pulls the carriage, and out steps with the biggest handbag I've ever seen.
It's she, it's Dolly.
Bruno, is it true? I heard somebody laughing outside the kitchen window, and it sounded like...
It is, it's Dolly. Now go tell the bench. She just stepped out of her letter. Bruno, it's true, no? It's true, yeah? She just stepped out of a white and gold carriage pulled by 6 black horses with scarlet plumes. I'm just gonna talk.
Sir!
She's back. Something, right?
Sir! Rudy! She's here!
Blue
are you doing here in that getup? And you're half an hour late, and I demand an explanation of...
Ernestina!
Exactly.
Ernestina, whom I trusted.
She wanted to do the hoochie-coochie.
Well, she's always been a little artistic. Now, Horace, I'm going to have our table moved down front. There's somebody in the pose contest I particularly want you to see. Now, let's not say another word about it. I'm as shocked as you are. I can't the thing what you ordered.
What you ordered, a chicken. Mrs. Levi, I demand an explanation of that hoochie-coochie girl.
A chicken? No, I couldn't eat a chicken. Not today. Not after what happened.
Good. Cancel the chicken.
And bring a turkey.
What are you doing now?
Nothing, just looking the place over, getting acquainted with my surroundings.
That's the trouble with you, Dolly Levi, always having to know everything. Always putting your nose into other people's affairs. Anybody who ever married you would get as nervous as a cat.
What are you saying?
I said anybody who ever married you...
Get that idea out of your head this instant. Understand once and for all, I have absolutely no intention of marrying you.
I didn't mean that.
Well, I certainly do hope not. Why, Horace, you go your way and I'll go mine. I'm not some Irene Malloy whose head can be turned by a couple of chocolate-covered peanuts. Unshelled. Why the idea of you even suggesting such a thing?
Mrs. Levi, you misunderstood.
Well, I certainly do hope not. But understand, if I have any intention of remarrying, it'd be to a far more pleasure-loving man than you. However, we won't discuss it anymore. The waiter's coming with our food. I'll serve Mr. Vandegelder, Horace. Here's some tender meat for you, and some dumplings, lighter than air they are, and some giblets, very tender and very good for you. No, Horace, as I was saying, you go your way, and I'll go mine. But start writing on the line. I have a feeling you'll feel better at once. But since you brought the matter up, Horace, there's one more thing I'm going to say.
I didn't bring the matter up at all.
One more thing I ought to say before we forget all about it. It's true that I'm a woman who likes to know everything that's going on, who likes to manage things. But I would never like to manage anything as out of control as your household. You'll have to do it yourself. God helping you.
It's not out of control.
Very well. No, the pity of it all is a charming, friendless, unfearless soul like such as yourself is absolutely no companion for me. Have some beets, Horace, they're good.
I don't like beets.
That's nice. No, Horace, you're absolutely no companion for me. You salt your beets and I'll salt mine.
Will you stop saying that?
I won't say another word about it.
Good.
Except for this. At your age, you should enjoy hearing the honest truth.
My age, my age. Why are you always talking about my age?
Well, I don't know what your age is, but I know living up in Yonkers with bad food and that temper, you'll double it in 6 months. Have some more beets, Horace. They're good.
I don't like beets. I hate beets.
That's nice. Now dig right in. No, the pity of it all is you could be a completely charming, amiable man if you wanted to be.
I don't want to be charming.
But you are. Look at you now. You can't hide it. Now sit down and we'll talk about something else. But before we forget all about it, there's one more thing I'm going to say.
I don't want to hear it. You're wasting your time, Dolly Levi. I won't ask you to marry me.
And so I suspect you want me to ask you. I'm sorry, Horace, but I'm turning you down.
How can you turn me down when I haven't asked you anything?
There's no sense arguing. I've made up your mind. Now let me cut your beets.
I've got a headache. I'm going back to my hotel.
You can't leave now. The competition's about to begin.
Here's some money to pay for the dinner. Here's $20. Wait a minute. There's nothing in here but $1, 3 dimes, 5 pennies, and a button. This isn't my purse. I've lost my purse.
Barbie, that purse you found.
Impossible. I couldn't imagine you going anywhere without your purse.
It's Vandergelder's, Cornelius. We better get out of here.
What am I supposed to do? I've never been here before. They don't know me. Stop eating that turkey. I can't pay for it.
Come along with some boys.
Oh, it's a polka! Horace, it's the latest thing. And one man in particular I want you to see.
Wait a minute. That man, that dancer.
Come along with some
Isn't he
boys.
wonderful? With talent like that, he's bound to sell a gold cup.
It's been perfectly wonderful evening, but we're going to cut it a bit, excuse me, short.
Oh, Minnie, a polka. Cornelius, I must have just one hit.
No, but Vandergelder's right there. We've got to go.
We will go, but we'll dance
his way out. Cornelius Hackle.
Mr. Vandergelder.
Barnaby Tucker. Mr. Vandergelder. Ermengarde. Dolly, this is all you're doing. What have you been up to?
Mr. Vandergelder, I can explain everything.
I don't want to hear any explanation. You're fired.
Officer, arrest that man.
No, let go of me. I haven't done anything. It's him. Let go of me.
What's going on here?
All right. You're all under arrest. All of you.
Mrs. Dolly Levi, counselor at law.
Your Honor, the defense rests.
No.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's absolutely no need to call any witnesses when I see upon that bench a brow that gleams with honor, a nose. I ask you to take a look at that nose, ladies and gentlemen. A nose that shines in the night like a beacon of justice. Could you turn your head a little bit that way so you get a better look at your beacon? A living symbol of the motto of this great land, E probuscus unum. Your Honor, I ask for the freedom of my clients and a guilty verdict for the only true culprit here, Horace Van Gelder of Yonkers, New York.
Dolly.
The one man responsible for the grievous charges of willful destruction of private property.
A curtain torn, a waiter bruised, and a solid bolt cup.
Cruelty to a poor, unfortunate minor. Could you say that again, ma'am?
Begging your pardon, Mrs. Levi, but if it pleases the court, I have something to say.
I was just about to call on you, Cornelius. Go right ahead.
Cornelius Hackle, if you dare testify against me, I'll have you discharged.
You've already done that.
I'll do it again.
You've done that too. I don't know much about disturbing the peace or inciting to riot, but I do know that what happened to me, which is the most important thing that can happen to a man in his entire life, would not have happened if I would have obeyed your orders and stayed in Yonkers, New York. Your Honor, I am talking about none other than love.
You're trying to tell me that after 33 years, you've fallen in love because you took one evening off?
I did not fall in love with Mrs. Irene Malloy of this city in just an evening, an hour, even that's too long. What's less than a minute?
A second.
Less than that.
A moment.
That's it. I'll go slowly so you can get it all down. It only takes a moment for your eyes to meet, and then your heart knows in a moment that you'll never cooped up in Yonkers, New York, for years and years. And all that time, wonderful people like Mrs. Irene Malloy were walking around. And I did not know them at all. I don't know if you can see from where you're sitting. Well, for instance, the way her eye and cheek and forehead come together up here. I tell you, this woman is the greatest work of God on earth. You can talk all you like about Niagara Falls and the pyramids, but they're not in this at all. Sure, I've seen women before, but today I talked to one equal and equal. They're often mysterious and different from men. I bet you could know a woman for 100 years without being sure if she likes you or not. Today, I've lost so many things. My job, my future, everything that matters to me. But I don't care. Even if I have to dig ditches for the rest of my life, I'll be a ditch digger who once had a wonderful day.
I missed a few words there back there with Capital right after it only.
It only takes a moment, but his arms felt strong and strong. It only takes a moment for an instant, but his arms felt strong and strong. It only takes a moment to and that is all that love's about. Let me come when time runs out, that it only took a moment to be loved a whole life
Dismissed. You're all dismissed. All except Horace Vanderbilt of Yonkers, New York. You're free, my children. Let's go.
You may see the prisoner now, Miss Levi.
Well, Horace, there's your life. Without niece, without clerk, without bride, and without purse. And I guess that leaves me with only one thing left to say.
If it's to ask me to marry you, Dolly Gallagher, never, not in a million years. Under no circumstances would I ever marry you.
That's not at all what I was going to say. All I was going to say is goodbye.
What?
Goodbye.
Now hold on, Dolly.
No, I failed. And when a woman fails, there's only one thing left for her to do but say,
Wait.
but
Hey.
wave your little hand and whisper so long, dearie, you ain't gonna see me anymore. When you discover that your to your cash register. It's a little lumpy, but it rings. So wave a little hand and whisper so loud, dearie, dearie, she's that's so long ago.
And I wouldn't marry you, Dolly Levi, not if you were the last woman on earth, not in a million years. I didn't need you then, and I don't need you now. You go your way, Dolly Levi, and I'll go mine. Dolly, Dolly, Dolly.
You stamp, Mr. Van de Gelder?
Oh, so it's you, Mr. Hackle, come crawling back, I see.
No, I just came by for my $146.35. And I decided to go into business. And since the only business I know is hay and feed, I decided to open up my own store.
And he's found the perfect location, Mr. Van de Gelder, right across the street from you.
Oh, so you think you can compete with Van de Gelders, eh? Well, you just try. Oh, so it's another one coming crawling back, eh? What do you want?
My back salary for the past 4 months, $6.12.
You can't do this to me, either of you. I'll go to the courts. I'll get a lawyer. I'll do something.
Well, Horace Van de Gelder, as I live and breathe, if you aren't handsome in that outfit,
Dolly Gallagher?
I know exactly what you're going to say. You are not happy with Ernestina, but I found you the ideal wife. Don't let me bother you with that right now. You were doing something. What were you doing?
We were getting Cornelius's money, Dolly. $146.
And 35 cents.
Plus $6.12 a mile.
And the money my mom left me, $52.48.
38.
48.
All right, all of you, down to the cellar. I'll get you your money. I suppose you think it's free for the taking, huh? What do you think, money grows on trees or something?
Money, 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 money. Mr. Van de Gelder's money. It's like the sun we walk under. It can kill or cure. Mr. Van de Gelder's never tired of saying that most people are fools. And he's right, isn't he? I mean, himself, Cornelius, Irene, myself. Yes, we're all fools and we're all in danger of destroying the world in our folly. The surest way to keep us out of trouble is to give us the 4 or 5 human pleasures that are our right. And that takes a little money. See, the difference between a little amount of money and a lot of money is enormous, and it can shatter the world. And the difference between a lot of money and an enormous amount of money is very slight, and it can also shatter the world. It's all in how you use it. Like my late husband Ephraim Levi always said, money, pardon the expression, is like manure. It's not worth a thing unless it's being spread about, encouraging young things to grow. Well, that's the opinion of the second Mrs. Van de Gelder, which reminds me, Ephraim, I'm ready for that sign.
Well, don't just stand around down here. That goes upstairs.
Well, Horace, as I was saying, I found the ideal wife.
I don't want you to find me no ideal wives, Dolly. If I want to find an ideal wife, I'll find her myself. And I found her. And it's you, dang it.
Why, Horace.
Yes, I know I've been a fool about Mrs. Malloy and that other woman. But Dolly, forgive me and marry me.
And stop right there.
What do you mean?
You know as well as I do that you're the first citizen of Yonkers, and your wife would have to be somebody. Tell me, Horace, am I a somebody?
You are a wonderful woman.
Oh, you're partial. No, it's not enough to shower your wife with money and jewels and insist that you be a benefactress for half the town. By the way, it's bad business letting Cornelius open a shop right across the street from you. Why don't you take him back and let him be your partner?
Partner.
And then barter you can have Cornelius' old job.
Now see here, Dolly.
That way, we'll all be together to dance at Ermengarde's wedding.
No, you've gone too far, Dolly. I'll dance at no weddings. Besides, I don't even know how, and it would take me weeks, months, years to learn. All right, I'll dance.
Why, Horace, I never thought I'd hear you say a thing like that.
Oh, I'm sorry. That goes in the front room. It's out that way.
Horace, what's going on up there?
Oh, I just thought I'd have that front room done over in blue wallpaper.
Horace!
Yes, I know the old wallpaper isn't worn out yet, but she's young, needs work. And I've always thought that money, pardon the expression, is like manure. It isn't worth a thing.
Thank you, Ephraim.
Hello, Dolly. Well, hello, Dolly. It's so nice to have you here where you belong. I never knew, Dolly, without you, Dolly, life
Remember that you love us.
We're never friendly.
I just about got all you.